Hi, welcome to episode 13. And we are here to continue on the path to, or no, they're hanging out in one place right now, aren't they?
They actually spent the winter in
That's right.
Balbakart.
Yeah. I'm glad I don't have to say that.
Yeah, me either. And this is the springtime, and their next destination is a city called Takshashila.
Takshashila.
Yeah, and it is in Pakistan.
What's known today is Pakistan.
What is known today is Pakistan, yeah, okay. Because at that time there was
there were no borders
and no countries.
Everyone just kind of went wherever. It's just tribal,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
Tribal time.
So the city that they are going to try to reach is also called Taxila nowadays, and it is on the suburbs of Islamabad.
Oh, okay.
For the people who are interested. I think it's south of Islamabad. So, but we'll try to use the Takshashila name because I think it sounds
kind of fun.
Nice.
Takshashila. Did I say it right? No.
So we will be showing a map that shows the enormous journey that they are taking again between Balbakrak and Takshashila. It's about 1,000 kilometers, and it's all throughout the mountains with tons and tons of passes. So
okay.
It's going to take them many weeks.
A long time,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So the little caravan now is composed. I mean, as you may remember, the main caravan went back west.
Right.
Right. But Melkus, the leader of the caravan, stayed with them.
Right. And Yeshua was upset about having to say goodbye to his camel.
Right. Unfortunately, the camel, in this kind of weather,
in
the mountainous terrain, is not appropriate.
Not conducive for camels.
So the little caravan is composed of Yeshua, of course, Yosharam, his old friend, Melkus, and Melkus also hired a local guide called Tarpa. Okay. So in addition to those, they are all riding small horses, and they also have 2 mules to carry the equipment, the tents, and the food and everything. Mm-hmm. So the stuff is that Yosharam does not like Tarpa, the new guide. Something, he has some doubts and second thoughts about him, but. So they all start, this long journey, and our audience can follow on the map, what they are doing, but it's a long trip. And Yeshua is absolutely marveling at the beauty of the landscape.
Oh, I bet it's gorgeous.
Because it's springtime, and he's saying that the meadows and all the plateaus are covered with yellow and white flowers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, everything is just growing and coming out, Try to
love that time
to get the rays of sunshine. And so he's and on top of that also Yeshua loves the mountains, and we may think that this is perhaps due to his former lifetimes,
right? Where he lived there,
where he lived in the mountains, and so that's another good reason why he's very, very grateful for everything he sees and everything this journey offers to him, And so they have to cross a lot of passes, and they have to cross big rivers, which are extremely cold because the rivers are basically fed with the melting snow, right?
Yeah.
And all the ice melting. And so it is not always easy. But their guide apparently is capable, and he looks at the birds flying. He looks at the way the wind blows.
He's in touch with nature.
Yeah, he's in touch with nature, and
that's who
he
you
managed
want.
He managed to get them to the right destination. Yeah. So our little caravan, they're all enjoying it, and they are full of gratitude for all this beauty that the nature is giving them. And at one point, Melkus is also very different. When he was in charge of the main caravan, he was very professional, very alert, very careful and focused. So now, knowing that he's just going along and he's not really in charge,
he can enjoy the ride now.
Exactly. And he's also, after spending the winter, with Yoshiram and Yeshua in that big town, they are more they know each
They're
other.
comfortable with
a lot.
each other
Yes,
now.
they are much more comfortable. So,
Yeah.
so they have actually sometimes spiritual discussion. Because Yeshua and Yoshiram always have spiritual discussions between them. But now Melkus is also taking part in those discussions.
Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, I guess the fact that he changed a lot and that he's opening up his mind and spirit to other subjects of interest.
Yeah.
And we will see also later on in the life of Yeshua, Melkus will be here when Yeshua needs him.
Oh, okay.
He will meet him in
They
the
have
future.
very tight bonds, it looks like.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
That's good.
So the subject that Yeshua is discussing with Yoshiram is the subject of how difficult it is to awake people. And I think it's perfect that we talk about that because this is exactly what's happening
Well, we're
today.
going through that right now, aren't we?
Since 2020 to 2024, you know, it has been a period of awakening.
Mass awakening. I mean,
Mass
worldwide.
awakening, yes.
It's not just, you know, here in the States.
Yeah. And so 2,000 years ago, they were already talking about that. And the problem was the same.
Yeah.
Is that the people are asleep. They do not realize that they are asleep for the vast majority.
I know.
And the people who maybe realize it are just very happy to be asleep. And they don't want to change.
Yeah. You know, sometimes it's easier.
Yeah, of course it's easier.
I wish I was asleep sometimes. It's like, oh my gosh. When you're awake to the truth and the reality, it's difficult. Yeah.
So Yeshua is telling Yosh, you know, I feel really that the art of awakening is the most difficult art you can do.
Well, that's why we come here.
Yeah.
It's the challenge.
And it's funny that you would say that because Yeshua is actually saying that he thinks that the purpose of his life is to awake people. Yeah. And we know that the future will give him reason. So
he tried.
After many weeks of, beautiful landscape and crossing passes, they finally arrive in Takshashila. So I wanted to just do a little parenthesis about Takshashila. It's a very special city. Actually, it's more a city. About 3,000 years ago, there was the first university in Asia created in Takshashila.
Oh.
Yeah. So they are following the religion of Buddha, Gautamah. And there are a lot of Buddhists and also some Hinduist over there. And so they created that big university where they actually taught the religious and spiritual subjects, but also techniques, healing techniques, such as the Ayurvedic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, protocols.
Boy, I wish we had those universities.
I wish we had those, yeah. So
yeah,
they probably
search mountain libraries, you know.
So they probably, taught the energetic healing, Ayurvedic healing, all this stuff was already. But that city didn't last too long, you know, despite its glory and light, as it was destroyed by Genghis Khan in 500.
Oh, good old Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Always count on him.
You know, if it's not Sikandar, Alexander the Great, it is Genghis Khan. It's one or the other.
I wonder who the Genghis Khan of this world is right now.
It's probably in Washington, D.C.
I think so.
So Yeshua and Yosh, you know, are quite happy. They found a place also in a little, it's like a little shelter next to a temple. And actually the monks in charge of the temples are offering them the fact that they can sleep and stay in a little.
Nice.
And they also give them 2 meals per day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's probably not, you know, the big 4 or 5 courses menu, but, you know.
Well, they're not used to eating that much
anyway.
anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but yes, so the lodging and the food is provided free of charge to them by those Buddhist monks.
They probably sense the energy. They probably see something, you know, they see the avatar.
Right.
I think they have that capability.
So Yeshua is extremely happy also because he can he can actually meet the people and talk to them. Surprisingly, the people in Takshashila are speaking a form of Greek language.
Oh.
And this is because they have been colonized in the past by Sikander, Alexander the Great.
Oh, okay.
So one of the heritage of that colonization is that they're actually speaking Greek.
Okay. Is that their main language?
That seems to be the main language.
Oh, okay.
Yes, which is surprising,
It
right?
is right where they are. It's kind of
Right, in the middle of the mountain,
It's kind of
speaking
weird.
Greek.
Yeah.
So Yeshua, who learned the Greek language while he was in Carmel school, in a school of mystery, is very happy to be able to talk.
Oh yeah, they're probably happy that he can talk, speak
Yes.
their language. Yeah, nice.
So the city has a lot of beautiful temples, and they are following, as I mentioned, the religion of what they call the awakened, Gautamah. Okay, and there are some statues. So we'll try to find some pictures and post them also on the video. Those statues show always Gautamah in the traditional lotus posture, meditation,
Right.
with his legs folded and everything. So nothing has changed. It is exactly the same way it was 3,000 years ago. Yeah. So what can we say about Gautamah Buddha? I'm sure our audience have read about Gautamah, who used to be a prince from a very, actually I think he was the son of a king or something like that.
Yeah, pretty wealthy family.
Yeah, very wealthy and very affluent and powerful family. And he decided to drop everything to pursue the spiritual enlightenment and the awakening. And that's why they call him the Awakened.
Oh, okay.
So they are planning to stay about 7 to 8 days, a good week in Takshashila. And at one point, Yeshua meets two monks who invite him to come to their little temple because they want to show him a few things. So why are the monks coming to Yeshua? It's probably not a coincidence, right? They may have been guided, or they may have felt maybe the spiritual waves or vibration that he was emanating, But anyway, so they show him a few things. It's like, they are opening a big treasure chest, and inside they put different bags, and one of them has a golden coin, and on that golden coin there is the side of Sikander.
Oh, okay.
So Yeshua said, no, I've no interest. Because at the beginning, the monks thought maybe it was coming from Greece or something.
Oh,
because he spoke
right.
Greek. Right.
That makes sense, yeah.
So they showed him the coin, but Yeshua said, nah, I have no interest with that.
Gives me bad memories.
Then they showed him, and they opened another bag, a little pouch, and in the pouch there is the medallion, a bronze medallion, which is identical to the one that they were supposed to see in the monastery of Sokuk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so on one side, it has the, basically it's a special Essene star, with 8 spikes, and the 3 bottom ones have like a hand at the bottom of them.
Interesting.
Yeah, but on the other side of the coin, of the medallion, there are 3 circles organized like in a triangular shape.
Okay.
And Yeshua doesn't know what it is, but something came back immediately to his mind. It is the symbol of Shambhalla.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Shambhalla.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you explain that? Because I don't know what that one is.
Shambhalla is known in our culture as Shambhala.
Oh, Shambhalla. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That famous city.
Right.
That is actually located in the center of the earth, inside the earth. But we can talk about that a little bit later. So, the fact that they showed him this medallion with on one side the Essene and the Essene sign, and on the other side the sign of Shambhalla, is very, very interesting. And then they showed him pieces of bark. I don't remember exactly what kind of wood it is, but those are slices of box which have been engraved with Aramaic signs.
Oh, okay.
So they show that to
Signs
him.
or like letters?
Letters, a text.
Okay, so
Text
letters.
written in
Okay.
Aramaic.
Oh, okay. So there's
Yeah,
a
so-
message there.
Again, because he knows Aramaic a little bit, so he's able to try to decipher it. And on one of them, he found the name of Solomon.
Oh.
Okay,
Okay.
King Solomon again. So again, multiple clues about
Right.
what he's doing here. So after seeing those monks, Yeshua basically goes back into his little temple and decided to do an exercise that that we should recommend to anybody who is on the spiritual path, and it's called the remembrance. And what you need to do is, at the end of the day, you need to remember everything you did during the day and see the consequences of your act, of your words, of your thoughts. Okay? And because it will be obvious at that time. Instead of trying to find the aftershock of the aftermath of what you did, you can actually negate whatever you did wrong by reliving it at the end of the day.
And it's not even anything you did wrong. It's even just your thoughts.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So Yeshua has been doing this practice for a long time, but this time he decided to go and do it in a deeper way. He's not going to remember what he did today, but he's going to try to remember what he did for his entire life.
Yeah.
So he's 14 and a half years old, right? We know that he's actually 14 years old. His birthday was in the spring that just passed. So, and he's going to go back, relive his life, see basically all the trip that he had been doing.
All the people he's come
All the
across.
people he came across. He's going to go back to the Carmel School of Mystery, where he spent 6 years of his life. He's going back to Egypt, where he spent 5 years of his early life as an infant, and even to his birth, which took place again in spring and not at Christmas time, like they
And
want us to
we're
believe.
getting ready for it though this time. December.
So he sees the beautiful birth that he was welcomed into, and then something else happened. So his memories are not stopping there. He sees himself among an assembly of men and women sitting on a beautiful floor made of precious stones, a lot of lights and water. Something,
Beautiful.
Yeah. And the whole group, there are quite a few people around him, and the whole group is looking at him with wisdom, love, and respect. And they say to him, "Thus, it may be you. Are you accepting the responsibility and the weight of that task?" Sananda.
Oh.
And they call him with his name, his cosmic name, the name of his soul, Sananda. So, and then his remembrance exercise stops at that point.
Okay. It's almost like he's doing a life review.
Yes, it is a life review, exactly.
It's
Exactly.
But he's not dead, thank God.
Yeah, and the life review again must be done in a reverse way. Okay.
What do you mean?
Well, it means because you want to see the effect of what you've been doing or saying before you say it.
Okay.
So you know
Right.
what to expect. So finally, our little group, Yeshua, Yosh, Melkus, and Tarpa, are deciding to leave Takshashila.
Okay.
And on the morning of the departure, there is a bad surprise because Tarpa has disappeared. The guide has disappeared.
Oh.
And with him, he took all the money they had and a mule.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So
The guy had been already paid, right? He was paid up front. He knew that everything would be, the contract would be honored, but still.
So he was right about him.
Yes.
That's
So
what happens when you don't go with your gut
Right.
instincts.
Yoshiram was absolutely right about Tarpai. There was
So he
something
took all the
fishy about
money.
this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he took all the money and he took a mule. And so Yeshua and Yosh are saying, okay, well, you know what? This is written. We don't worry too much. But Melkus is extremely upset.
Well, yeah.
Because he's the one who found the guy.
They found a guy, and he's the one who's supposed to take care of them, really.
Exactly.
And he had that inkling, you know.
Yeah, so Melkus said, okay, you know what? I will take you to the final destination, the mountain of Solomon, and we will do without Tarpa. And so during the trip that takes us to the mountain of Solomon, and we will be covering that in episode 14, the next one, Yeshua again is lost in his thoughts. And that question comes back in his mind. And what he heard, doth it may be you? Are you accepting the responsibility of this task, Sananda?
He's probably wondering, what is that task?
Yes. So here I would like to make a parenthesis, which is my personal knowledge about it. It is not described in the book, so we will be, I want that to be very clear. So what happened with this group of wise people and wise men and women around Sananda was probably the council that took place in Shambhalla before Yeshua decided to incarnate on this planet.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay?
Right.
Yeah, so they probably had a gathering of all the masters who lived in Shambhala, because Yeshua is not the only one. There are many. I mean, we mentioned Gautamah Buddha is one of them, but there are many others who are responsible for the evolution of humankind. So that group was probably trying to decide who would go for this incredible challenge.
Who drew the shortest straw this time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like they picked up what some people are calling the master of masters, who is basically Sananda.
Interesting.
Yeah. So again, I invite our audience to look into the existence of Shambhala, but it is, I mean, there are many people who have talked about it. It is vibrating on between the fifth dimensional and sixth dimensional. So basically it's not visible to human beings.
Right.
Unless you've been invited and your vibrations have been increased to a point where you can actually perceive it. But most likely the vibrations are so high that your physical envelope would be destroyed if you go there.
Right.
Unprotected.
Right.
Yeah. So that city exists in the center of the planet. I mean, as some of our audience may know, but every planet is hollow. It's empty, right? We just have a shell, which is what we call the crust. But inside, there's plenty of activity, and the vibration of the inside of the planet is much higher than the outside. The outside is vibrating at low vibration, what we call the three-dimensional vibration, where we are now, trying to transition out of it.
In a nice, easy way.
But the inside of the planet is vibrating at a much higher frequency. Okay? And is actually the refuge of a lot of people of higher intelligence and higher spiritual development than we are.
Interesting, yeah.
So, yeah, we could talk about that for a long time, but I wanted to make that parenthesis for our audience.
That's good.
Again, this is not described in the book. This is just the way things are, and what I've read on the side about this council that decided to take one of the best for the advancement of humankind.
Well, you know, when I had the experience I had about 20 years ago, I went through that same experience of having to remember, I had to remember what I did that day when I went to sleep at night, and I really could not.
About the remembrance.
Yeah,
process.
I couldn't get to sleep until I remembered everything I thought about, everything I might have said to somebody. So I was doing that life review every single night.
Yeah.
And before that, I also did, it was a review of my whole life and actually getting an understanding of, from a small child to adult, how I affected people in their lives, whether it was good or bad, which some of the times I didn't realize I was doing anything bad, or that I hurt them in any way, because I never would want to hurt anybody. But it was interesting to have that experience, and it kind of helps me to think today of my thoughts and how I treat other people, and how I live my life now.
I think this process of remembrance is excellent because it can actually allow you to clear some of the karma you may have. And so instead of coming back in another lifetime and, reliving certain issues, why is it not so much better to do it right on the spot?
Right. Every day, before you go to sleep, and just think about those things. It's, it's ask for forgiveness or just the acknowledgement of knowing.
And if you have done a lot of good things, just enjoy the beauty and the happiness you have brought to other people.
Exactly.
Yeah, and bathe into it, bask into it.
Right. That's right. Well, I guess that's it for
that's
this
it
segment,
for today. Yeah,
right?
we want to keep it short because our next segment will be much longer.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us again, and we look forward to the next one.